70-kilometre race, and once again Quinton's having a very special ride. But right now on the deck, it is time to address the barnet. There's way too much grey coming through, and my vanity does know no bounds. Quinton.
Not helpful.
Quinton is complimenting Jane on doing my hair while undertaking the bike race of his life. I think a very nice job all in all.
It's expensive. I haven't told you yet.
Reassuringly expensive. Scott, my little commie. I'm loving the KOM hunt. And when I get back outside, I'm going to hunt down a few of my own. But checking out the channel, if you don't mind me saying, Scott, I do think you've got maybe a couple of holes in your KOM hunting armoury. I've noticed that you very much like watching other people's glutes.
We get a few more views if we get one of these in shot.
But if you check out today's vids, I'm hoping I'm going to arm you with a couple of little strength training tools to help strengthen your own glutes and hamstrings. And in turn, I reckon that may enable you to take on a couple of KOMs with an upward incline. Didn't know flat KOMs was a thing until I watched your channel. The thing about on the incline, the upward part of the incline that is, Scott, not the downward part, whether you're standing or seated, there's a hell of a lot more involvement of the hamstring and the glute. Whereas on the flat, it's much more quad dominant. So today, it's a little indoor strength training with a little twist to help develop the glutes and the hamstrings. Scott, I'm really sorry, but I'm sure you'll understand. I was unable to attend your Tesco's Minehead meet and greet last week.
Oh, actually, this is our first meet and greet. Thought I'd do a little meet and greet. So there we go. There's the old meet and greet queue. Getting popular now.
However, you'll be interested to learn that we actually have Tesco's here in London, and they've provided everything we need to strengthen the glute and the hamstring with a little bit of improvised Blue Peter work as follows. Take one Tesco's bag. Now I'm using books. You can use DVDs, Blu-ray DVDs, maybe a Ghostbusters one, Scott, or tins and things like that upstairs. Now the key with the books is to get them in the right order. Now this one from New York was given to Jane when she left her job in New York. It's a bit too big for the bag, you'll see. We're not going to get a nice flat lay on the floor, and it is important to get a nice flat lay on the floor. So I'm sorry, Jane, I'm ruling out the New York book. But the story of Britain, you can see it's been well read here, is just perfect to create the base. And on top of that, I'm going to overlay the fundamentals of corporate finance, one of my university books, which I did study very diligently. I've got to be honest with you, I was a bit of a swot at university. And onto that, people's history of the United States, you know, the Anglo-American relationship, a blast from the past, Biggles of 266, makes a nice little addition there on the top, and then century. You can see the density there. That's really going to add nicely to the weight. And of course, we can keep adding books as we need in order to engender progression. But I think you'll agree, Scott, that that's a rather nice little kettlebell there, if you don't happen to have a kettlebell or dumbbell in the house. So super happy with that. Now, while the deadlifting's been off the cards the last 5 weeks, it occurred to me that the single leg deadlift is a really nice little move to stick back in the body weight training program, albeit with our improvised kettlebell. The thing about the single leg deadlift is you can really focus on the mind-muscle connection. So to commence the movement, place one foot to the side of our little kettlebell here. Nice and straight, shoulders back, chest up, deep breath in through the mouth and the nose. Brace the core. Obviously I'm going to let a bit of the air out the core for obvious reasons. And I'm grabbing my kettlebell nice and low because that increases the range of motion and makes it harder. But if you lack flexibility, just grab it a little bit higher. It makes things a little easier. So, squeezing the hamstring and the glute and really having a nice straight trailing rear leg. Get the chest up, nice straight back. By bringing the chest up, that straightens the lower back. And what we're trying to do is squeeze the glute and the hamstring to initiate the movement and kind of push through with the hips and the trailing leg as follows. And you really are trying to push that rear trailing leg, that heel, back towards the wall behind you to keep it nice and straight and really engage the glutes and the hamstrings. And the real focus is on keeping the core engaged throughout the movement to stop the wobbling. You can see there, I had to do that on a couple of occasions. So when you've done 5 or 10 reps on the left leg, we move to the right leg. And with the right leg, exactly the same process, chest up, shoulders back, air into the core, grip nice and low. And we're gripping here with the left hand when we're using the right leg. Get that left trailing leg backwards and nice and straight. And by really focusing on initiating the movement, by squeezing the hamstring and the glute, it really does a lot to kind of activate the glutes and the hamstrings. And you can then focus on the quality of the movement and starting from a nice dead stop each time and the explosive power to kind of initiate the concentric, i.e. the upward part of the movement. Now today's a rest day, so I'm not going to undertake a full workout, but I am going to combine that single leg deadlift into a bodyweight complex next week. And the second move that I'm also going to incorporate into that is called the single leg Romanian deadlift, which is a little bit easier. So it will come second in the complex. And again, chest up, shoulders back, gripping the kettlebell here with the right hand because we're going to be working the left leg. Deep breath in to the core, stabilize the core, and we kind of start the movement at the top as follows. And there, because we're not starting on the ground, it makes the movement a little bit easier because the range of motion is slightly lower. And it really then enables you just to focus on completely isolating that single leg and the mind-muscle connection in terms of activating each movement with the glute and the hamstring. Now Scott, as an aspiring KOM hunter, I've been taking very, very careful notes on the nutrition that you're prescribing in order for us to take down those KOMs. And I'm hoping here you'll definitely agree that I've got it just about right, because it's 12 o'clock on a Sunday, so I'm making a small adjustment. Rather than lunch on a bin, it's going to be brunch on a bin.
It might be a new channel idea, lunch on a bin.
Now unfortunately Scott, and I'm hoping again you're going to forgive me here, my bin isn't public, and I've also taken the precaution of kind of disinfecting it before having this, well, let's call it brunch of kings. But I've got to say, I can't quite yet bring myself to take down this bountiful fare, I guess. And I'm hoping you won't mind a couple of other small refinements. So maybe protein shake on a bin with a pink lady or two. Obviously with some hippie milk mixed in with some blueberries. And I think the most kind of controversial ingredient for the KOM hunter here would be the green supplement. I'm hoping that's going to be okay. Maybe I can transition off the greens and maybe onto the cream eggs slowly.